Okay, so a fair warning, this is going to be one of my programming videos. I know a lot of people are sick of it, but I actually have been working on a very amazing project in C++ recently. And I'm doing it under the Cygwin environment, which is basically trying to make a Unix environment on Windows. Because I really am a Unix type person, and I I would be using a like FreeBSD if only he had recognized my Wi-Fi. But someday I'm gonna get a better programming computer anyway than this old thing. So anyway, I'm going to switch to display capture. So now it will record everything that's on my screen. And I do hope that the quality is acceptable. So now it's time to go over to my Cygwin environment here. Cygwin 64. Double click it. Okay, now we're going to go full screen with this window here. So, hello Chastity, welcome back to Unix. Okay, so I know enough about how to use Unix commands here, and I have several little folders here. You see bash, BBM, C, CPP, like these all have different functions. Now, in the C and CPP folders have older projects in C and C++ that I've written, and they still compile and work just fine. But here's the thing, I'm going to be switching to the BBM folder. Now here's the deal, I have several different little things here. My IM folder has my image magic programs, but I don't think I'm going to show that in this video. What I want to show you is what's in the class folder. Here I have some very interesting things. Now, I don't use just Unix commands. I do use the advanced features that are provided by the Windows operating system, such as the text editor, Notepad++. So here's what I'm going to show you. I want to show you, first of all, how my program actually works. So the first thing to do is it's time to go, okay, so let's see here. Desktop, Cygwin 64 Chastity. Okay, so here's the thing. So if I go to the BBM folder in Windows Explorer, then I can go to the same folder that I'm currently in. So there are two source files. There's also a file of links. This has some helpful links that I was using, as well as the convert list format, which shows me what image magic, the formats it supports. But this actually, here's what's interesting. This particular program that I've written involving the two source files, main CPP and BBM _class.h, well, better, rather than just going on a rant about those, how about I just actually open both of these files. Okay, so now I've got both of these open. So I'm going to show you how it actually works. Now see, here's the thing. The current way I have it set up, and I set it up this way because of the recent screenshot. So here's how it works. Now, first what it does is it creates a BBM image. Now BBM is something I totally made up. It stands for binary bitmap. And when it does that, it's going to that's because I included the BBM class header here. So this is all my code. Everything in here is something I've written. So we have a class named BBM. Right at the beginning I've declared everything to be public, because public is easy. You only need to do private or protected if other people are using your code. And this code is not ready for production yet. It's messy looking, it's kind of screwed up, but it works. The compiler doesn't care what the code looks like, it just runs it. So here's the thing. This constructor here, now the constructor is a function of the same name as the class, BBM, which is very easy. I like BBM because it's short, it's 3 characters. And so first thing this program does is it calls the constructor. There's a default constructor, but then here's a constructor that accepts a width and height as argument, and then it sets the instance of that class, the width and height, to be W and H, basically. And then it sets the area integer to be equal to width times the height. So basically we're defining the geometry of a two-dimensional rectangle, which is what every picture file on the computer is. Okay, so here's the thing. And let me make sure that my software is recording, because this is, yes, it is. Okay, wonderful. I see the mic bar that it's recording my voice. Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. So first it calls that constructor, and so it will be acting the same way as the default constructor. So we have an image it's creating of 1280 by 720 pixels. Now then, here's what we're doing: is it fills the image. Now image is the name of this instance of the BBM class, because it's an image, you know, it's a picture. So, and then we have fill checker is the next thing it calls. Now let me show you how what fill checker looks like. It's a very messy function, and notice I have various little functions. I have the create the pixels function, and which allocates the memory. I have a set pixel function, which I don't actually use. I simply put it there to test it one time, but I don't usually use it. If I want to use a set pixel function, I might as well use the ImageMagick library, which provides that anyway. So anyway, and there's an info function which displays the details of the image, and there's a pixels to text function which I might show you that, but that's not important. That was just a preliminary one. I'm going to keep it for historical purposes. And then here's a constructor, the destructor. This is, and it always prints that it's deleting the pixels, and then it actually deletes the pixels array. That means it deallocates the memory. And whenever, so basically before the main function ends, it's going to close, it deallocate all the memory so there's no memory leaks. Now this function, fill checker, it's void, it doesn't return any value currently, but it accepts an integer of square size. Now the square size is going to be the width and height of every of the number of pixels of every square in the checkerboard. And I have some debugging code here. I have some comments that may not be helpful, but this code actually works. Let me show it in action. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to show you first. Notice that these strings are prefixed with f/. That means that I want these files to appear in the F folder. And the reason the folder is named F is because, well, F is the first letter in file, but it's also the first letter in frame. And so it could be a frame. If I'm doing a video, a picture could be a frame. Right now, this is a very basic one. Notice there are no files in here. But here's what I'm going to do. I am going to copy this command. And this one makes sure that it conforms with the oldest C++ standard. So we're talking, I don't even know, I think it's like the 1996 standard. I'd have to look up in the GCC manual to know exactly what this means. But all I know is it's going to warn me of any errors. So now let's go back to the window of, here we have, we're in this folder. So now I'm going to paste this command, and I'm going to run this command, and then look what it does. It compiles the program as an executable named main.exe, and then it runs it right after that. The double ampersand there, that's something, if you use Unix or Linux, you're going to learn that that command lets you run more than one command on the same line. So first it shows me that the pixel array is created. It shows exactly how many pixels. Now keep in mind, these pixels can only be black or white. This is the binary bitmap. This whole class is dedicated to only black and white pixels. Now here's the thing. But notice that it shows that these files were opened. Okay, so now let's go back here. The files exist. These files are actually here. Okay, I'm going to show you what they look like in a hex editor. Now this is the PBM file, the portable bitmap. And when you look at it, you'll notice something interesting. Notice that it has a little header which shows the width and height and the P4. And I know what all that means. That you don't need to know that for now. But that just shows programs that this is a valid PBM file. And then notice that everything is either FF or 00. Well, the reason for that is simply just because of the fact that each of those bytes contains 8 pixels. So FF means that all the pixels are 1, and then 0 means that all 8 pixels are 0. If you understand hexadecimal and binary, you'll understand that 2 digits of hexadecimal means means 8 digits of binary. Each one digit of hexadecimal is 4 bits. It's kind of complicated. Anyway, so that's what that looks like. Now, but if we open the other file, the XBM file, you'll see that it's actually plain text. There's nothing in here that's not actually plain text. So in fact, let me show you what each of these files look like if they're open in Notepad++. See this one? It looks like nonsense. It totally is nonsense because the text editor cannot read bytes of 00 or FF. But the other one, on the other hand, I go to this file and I open it in Notepad++. You actually can see it. It's all plain text. Now the XBM format is one of my favorite formats. It only does black and white, but it was used by the X Windows system, and almost no program actually supports this format. As you can see, it wastes a lot of space because it tries to encode things the exact same way as were done in the PBM file. However, each individual ASCII number is a byte representing 8 bits, but it wastes so much space. However, here's the important thing to understand. If I can open these files with a variety of programs, I'm going to use Image Glass. Now, Image Glass is a very interesting thing. It is a nice image editor, and notice that it shows the width and height because it can read the PBM. The reason I installed this image viewer was precisely because of its ability to read PBM files, and it reads XBM. See, whether I read 0.xbm or 0.pbm, either way it actually works. Now I'm going to show you something. I wrote the program. I know how to run this thing. So here's the deal. I can change the checkerboard instantaneously. All I have to do is see, it's set, the square size is set to the image width divided by 8. But what if I set it to the image width divided by 16? Then you will see the difference. Then I will simply recompile and rerun the program. It does all its code and displays this little diagnostic error messages. Well, they're not error messages because everything went successful. Okay, anyway, notice that it changed. Notice when I go back to the window, the size of the squares has changed. They're like totally different now. Oh, they are amazing. This is just beautiful. Yay! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why is the XBM file still the... Wait, did something go wrong? Okay, let me see here. That's odd, because it should be updated. Okay, let's see what the XBM file looks like. Oh, it's simply storing in the cache. Yeah. It's weird how it does that, but once I X the program, then they are identical. As you see, these two files are identical, and I can customize the I can customize that. Yeah, this was an error. I don't need to have that window open. That was a total accident. That was Notepad. I'm using Notepad++. Okay. So anyway, so let's set the width to be divisible by 32, and let's make the squares even smaller. Now here's the thing. Let's see here. So now it's recreated the files. So let's get this program open again. See, now the squares are even smaller. Yay! Wonderful, wonderful small squares. Now, here's something. I mean, it's great. Now, in fact, here's an interesting idea. Well, hey, I know. I have a great thing I can show you. How about, let's take this PBM file. It's my favorite, but it's identical. So now, what if we want to convert it? What if we want to convert this to a different format? We can convert it to BMP, EMF. I don't even know what most of these formats are. But if you know, GIF, JPEG, and PNG are the 3 formats that Facebook supports. So if I wanted to, I mean, I've already posted a lot of checkerboards, but you know what? Why not post another checkerboard? Why not? So let's save this image as 0.png. And when I do that, it saves it as a PNG file. And notice that it's tiny. Now it will reopen this file, so I can take my pictures of checkerboards and then I can actually upload it anywhere I want. So actually, let's see here. How about, okay, now I have some videos uploading. That's something, but it never hurts. I mean, you can never have too many checkerboards, right? I mean, at least in my opinion. So, so here's the thing. I'm going to, so I'm going to go to the folder here, and wait a minute. Facebook actually supports XBM files? Does it actually allow me to upload an XBM? Let's see. It doesn't look like it's working. That's weird. Let me try this again. That's so odd. Very odd. I don't think it's working. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Photos should be less than 4 MB and saved as JPEG, PNG, GIF, or TIFF. Oh, so it shows up, but it doesn't let you upload an XBM. But it will let me. Okay. Let's delete that one. And then let's upload the PNG file instead. This is very important. Okay. Yeah, so here we have a checkerboard. Yeah. Just another checkerboard created by my C++ program. Can never have too many checkerboards. Yeah, I agree with that. Of course, I would agree with what I just said. So anyway, now there are a few bugs in my program. There are, and I don't know the solution yet. I'm really not an experienced programmer. However, I'm gonna do something very odd. I'm going to show you what happens if I increase the number of pixels of the width by 4. Well, it's interesting because if I recompile and rerun the program, then the square size is still 40, because even though it was still dividing the width by 32 or whatever it was, I think, was it 32 or 16? Oh, it was 32. It's still 40. So the square size has not changed, but the image size has increased. So I'm going to show you something. Now, okay, here we have our PNG file, which was created from last time. But now let's compare that to the other files. See, you see the difference there? See the PBM and the XBM. Wait, why is the PBM and the XBM slightly different? Something is really weird that's going on there. I don't know exactly why there's a difference between the PBM and the XBM because they should be identical. There's some kind of bug in my XBM function. What is it? I could fix that bug, or I could just forget exporting XBM files. I have no idea why there's a difference. Anyway, but I can diagnose this, but see, there's a PNG, but now that we've increased the number of pixels by 4, there are actually 4 extra pixels, and yet it still retains the checkerboard. However, let's go here and let's zoom in on it. Okay, something weird is happening. The checkerboards are not aligned, and I have no idea why. Okay, that is one bug in my program, and I cannot figure out exactly why. It only happens when my width of my image is not a multiple of 8. Okay, so, however, okay, there is something else I want to try. Let's just go ahead and delete all those files because I do not need them anymore. And then let's, okay, so there's some, let's go back to the way it was before. And let's see what happens if I try to create a negative width. This is most likely going to crash the program, and I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen when I do this. Let's see what it does. Okay, it's compiling, or is it running? I don't even know what it's actually doing. If it is, why is it running slow? That's odd. Well, oh wait, well that's strange. No, it's still going. What in the world? It like refuses to run. That's really odd. Because it's not supposed to do that. Okay, I'm going to manually cancel this. What is wrong with my program? That is very, very odd. Because it's not supposed to do that. Because when I look at the code, see, the constructor create the pixels. It's supposed to try to create, allocate the array of that number of pixels. However, you would think it would catch the exception. That's weird. You know what? I'm gonna have to end this video because my program is crashing, and I don't even know why. I'm hitting Control C and it won't even let me cancel it. What happens if I? Yeah, I'm gonna close that. Okay, anyway, yeah, that is just really strange. Okay, yeah, anyway, you get the idea. I've been working on this programming project, and it's absolutely massive. It's insane, and it's got a few bugs in it. I still want to know why that exception is not being caught, and I also need to know why the XBM file ends up looking different than the PBM file when they should totally be identical. They should be pixel for pixel identical. Oh, I have much more research to do. Well, I'm frustrated, but maybe I'll get this figured out. But anyway, you gotta appreciate the attempt, the effort, the many numbers of hours that went into writing this checkerboard program. And this class, if I get all the bugs worked out with this class, then who knows what may happen. Maybe I will actually succeed in creating the ultimate checkerboard library. I mean, sure, there's image magic. However, my program actually creates the image files faster because my checkerboard function accesses the memory directly. It doesn't have the overhead of a function call. And I don't know enough about the ImageMagick library to use it, but I have full control over my own code. And the good side is I can do what I want. The bad side is it's full of bugs because I'm a bad programmer. So that's it for now. And I doubt anyone has watched the video. By the way, I have my unicorn shirt on today, which is amazing. And let's see what else. Yeah. Also, if anybody did happen to see anybody's personal data on Facebook when I upload that picture to Facebook, do not pay any attention to that. I wasn't trying to broadcast anybody's personal information or anything like that, but I just had several things going on the computer, and I just wanted to show. I wanted to show my friends how I upload the PNG files. How am I getting these images? And it's very interesting. Basically, I'm writing my code that creates these old, outdated binary formats and then converting them into PNG files. There's a number of programs that can do that. GIMP can do it, ImageMagick can do it, and Image Class even itself can do it, as you saw. So I have a lot of programming work to do. So anyway, I'm going to end this video and if I ever get all my bugs figured out, maybe I'll record another video. We'll see what happens. Bye.